All right, let's do this. 6 reasons you won't get a stimulus check. Plus, debt collectors are grabbing your stimulus money. And guess what? You could receive another $600 each week. We'll get to all of those stories and more in a moment. This is your stimulus update for Sunday, April 19th. And if you're new here to the channel, welcome. This is a channel devoted to helping you build wealth. So please subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. It's easy to do. Just click the subscribe button. Okay, what's going on with the stimulus and all those checks going out? Now, I've heard from thousands of you at how frustrated you are. On our last video, we had close to 3,000 comments on our last video, and I read them all. So please leave me a comment below and let me know how you're dealing with this right now. But here's the update before we get to the 6 reasons. Private debt collectors are grabbing your stimulus checks, and some states are trying to stop them. So news overnight out of Oregon Governor Kate Brown has signed an executive order, and this happened on Friday and it went into effect. It'll stop all debt collectors from seizing federal stimulus checks. This is called garnishment, folks. It's the fancy term. Now, that's when someone has access to your money and you owe them a debt. This is something that creditors can legally do, given the fact that neither Congress nor the Treasury Department took steps to ensure the checks are exempt from seizure. A lot of congressmen are pushing to get this set in place. So that means that states are having to take matters into their own hands. And Brown's order protects those stimulus checks, which can be up to $1,200 for an individual, from garnishment, the way that other federal aid is, like Social Security, disability, and veterans benefits. Those are all off limits. So here's a statement that she made about it. She said, many Oregonians, through no fault of their own, are struggling to pay their bills, their rent, or even essentials like groceries and prescription drugs, she said in this statement. She also went on to say, these recovery checks were meant to provide relief, not reward debt collection agencies or for preying on Oregonians who have lost their livelihoods. So this is great news. Good for Governor Brown for doing this out there in Oregon. And earlier this week, the governors of Illinois and also Washington State did the same thing. They signed orders to protect those stimulus checks from garnishment. Good for you. That's 3 states. Now, the federal government should do this. They should issue an order so that the states don't have to do all this. Last week, we told you how banks were also taking money if their account was overdrawn, some smaller banks, and a bunch of the big banks like Wells Fargo and Chase and Bank of America said they're not going to do that. So good for them. Thank you, guys. Thanks to those big banks. How many of you have had this happen to you? Hit me up in the comments and let me know if your bank got a hold of some of this money. Now, before we get to the 6 reasons why you won't get a stimulus check, we've got another big story that we're following, and you are about to receive an additional $600 a week. That's right, the $2.2 trillion stimulus package signed into law last month will allow people to receive an extra $600 a week in unemployment benefits for up to 4 months, on top of the amount that they're getting from the state. Now, this is going to go through July of this year. But states, here's the problem, have to set up and get the payments out. So right now, only 29 states are set up in dispersing these additional payments. The other states still have to get their act together. Basically, the states have to get their software updated to handle this. Why the heck is this taking so long? They signed this bill at the end of March. You can't get it updated, some states? Come on. So you will, though, get an additional $600 a week due to the pandemic if you're unemployed. So let me know in the comments if you've started receiving that additional money. All right, now to the 6 reasons you won't be receiving a stimulus check, or maybe you haven't because of some errors here. We'll go through them. These are some steps also to remedy this. So I want to give you some actual steps here that you can actually fix this in a solution. I don't want to just tell you the problem, okay? So the IRS has already processed over 80 million stimulus checks during the first week of sending out payments. However, there are still approximately 60 million stimulus checks that need to be issued, and some of them may not be coming for months. Yes, through September, we are hearing. Many taxpayers frustrated. You've told me about it after hearing that dead taxpayers have received stimulus checks while living people are still waiting for theirs. Dead people getting them, but you're not. But just because you haven't received yours yet doesn't mean it isn't coming soon. Now, here are 6 reasons why you probably haven't received your check yet, and some solutions as to what you can do to receive it more quickly, okay? Number 1 on the list, and we went through a few of these, but we've added a few now. Number 1, you aren't eligible for the stimulus check. This should go without saying, but if there is a lot of confusion out there regarding eligibility, and the IRS uses 3 factors right now to determine your eligibility. You are eligible if you are a U.S. citizen or a resident alien who has a valid Social Security number, could not be claimed as a dependent of another taxpayer, and here's the key, you had adjusted gross income under certain limits, okay? Now, you can read all about the 2020 stimulus and FAQs on irs.gov. We won't go into all those details. Number 2, you chose to have a paper check mailed to you. Now, the IRS will send your stimulus payment to you by paper in the mail in the same manner that you opted to have your most recent tax refund sent to you. So if you chose to have your check mailed to you, then you may be waiting a long time. Okay, the IRS is only currently processing direct deposits. They will likely start processing the paper checks in the next few weeks, but your wait time will likely be weeks or months before they can send all those checks out because they have a big list, okay? Now, here's a solution for you. You can go to the IRS's website, go to the Get My Payment page right there on the front, and request to have your check sent via direct deposit instead of by mail. But be sure to have your bank account information available when you do that so you don't get locked out of the system. Number 3, the IRS simply doesn't have your bank account information. Even if you filed your tax returns in 2018 or 2019, the IRS still might not have your bank account information on file. Okay? If you didn't receive a tax refund, you may not have been required to provide the IRS with any of your bank's direct deposit information. So if it was like a zero balance or you didn't have anything, another way to solve this is to go to the IRS Get My Payment page, okay, and enter your banking information right on the front page. This is going to move your stimulus payment to the direct deposit queue instead of having to wait months for it to hit and come out in the mail, okay? The 4th reason, you didn't file your 2019 tax return electronically. You did it by paper. The IRS is processing electronic tax returns much more quickly than the paper returns. They've even said their offices are closed. They have IRS people working remotely. If you filed it by paper, then you're going to be waiting a long time. So the IRS has not yet processed all of the paper tax returns from 2019 because a lot of these guys are working remotely right now, and they're not going to be able to process these. That means they're at home, and your paper return is probably sitting on their desk in Washington, okay? So solution, unfortunately, the only thing you can do here is to wait. That's it. Filing your return electronically is faster, safer, it reduces a heck of a lot of errors, and you can now, and by the way, you'd have your stimulus check processed much more quickly. That's another reason to file electronically. But unfortunately, if that was you, there's nothing you can do. You got to wait for these people to get back to the office. Number 5, you didn't have your most recent tax refund sent to your bank. Many tax return organizations set up those prepaid debit cards, or those intermediary bank accounts for their clientele. So that includes, H&R Block and these other tax preparation firms, TurboTax and stuff. They take their fee out of those proceeds, then they distribute the remainder out to you. Now, this can also be a benefit for those people that don't have a bank. They're called unbanked people, right? They don't have the proper identification to cash a large check. But it's also not an efficient way for the IRS to send you out your stimulus check. So unfortunately, what you need to do is you need to contact H&R Block or the other places that filed your return to see if they have any guidance on this. An alternative is to go to the IRS Get My Payment page and go ahead and enter your banking information, your mailing address, or if you prefer a paper check instead of the bank account information. That's the second solution. Number 6, you weren't required to file a tax return in 2018 or 2019. The IRS does not require certain individuals to file a tax return. For example, if your income is too low, if you don't have enough taxable income, under $12,000 for an individual. So if that's you, if you are low income, you fall into that bracket, please go to their website and input your information on their website, okay? There is an area where you can put in your banking information and your mailing address. Make sure you do that so that they know that they can send you this money. Also, the IRS has posted some guidelines saying that they will automatically be sending stimulus checks out to. And this is important for people that have asked about Social Security, retirement benefits and disability as well, SSDI, or survivor benefits. Individuals who also receive railroad retirement benefits. Now that leaves out a number of people who do not file a tax return because they primarily receive their income from non-taxable sources, such as Veterans Affairs Service, or disability benefits or supplemental security income, SSI. Solution here, okay? Visit the IRS website and there's a non-filers tab. Enter your payment info there, okay? And your information. Be sure to have your personal information as well as your banking information if you want to have your stimulus check directly deposited into your bank account. You must do that. Go to their website and click on that non-filers tab. And again, you can find out way more information at irs.gov if you want more information. So there you go, folks. That's the update. Please subscribe to our channel, and I want you to hit that subscribe button, and please leave me a comment below and let me know where you are in the stage. Did you receive your check yet? What frustrations do you have? We're keeping a tab on it for you here, and we're trying to get you the most answers that we can in one place. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.